Hello friends, welcome back to another Sims 4 video. I hope you're having a good day. Things look a little bit different around here. I got a new webcam. It's definitely a significantly better quality webcam than my onboard laptop webcam. It's not full 4K. It should be. I don't know how to set all that up yet. I'm still getting used to this new webcam and learning how to set everything up. But I do think the quality has significantly improved over the old one that I had. Again, in the comments, just, be nice or move on to a different channel if you think, if you don't like something here, let's put it that way. My background is still a mess. We're working on it. We had a busy weekend. We will hopefully get to it this weekend, though. So without further ado, let's get into the speed build, shall we? The first thing you'll notice is that the shell is already there. That's because I messed up and forgot to hit record. I think it's fine. The video is long enough as is anyways, so I think it's fine that I didn't get the shell recorded. And you basically end up getting a full tour of it as I'm decorating it anyways, so totally fine. It is a base game starter, no custom content home for a family of 4. If you have less than 4 Sims, your Sims will not be able to afford this house. I pretty much maxed out the budget on this one. How the house starts and how it ends is slightly different. I did reduce the size of most of the rooms, if not all of the rooms. Basically, I shrunk the whole build somewhere between half and 2/3 of the way through because I ran out of money. It is sparsely decorated because, again, base game, no packs, no custom content, nothing, and also starter home, so they couldn't afford much. But yeah, it's if you get, I'm feeling a little the new webcam, and I haven't been on a webcam on a speed build in ages, so forgive me if I stutter a little bit here and there as I'm getting used to all of this again. But never mind, I forgot what I was gonna say. I don't want to start over again. I've already started over recording this like 20 times. Some of the stuff you see here, I end up getting rid of in favor of cheaper stuff later on. Again, because I ran out of money. Same reason why I shrunk the whole build. I ran out of money. You do have to start the game with 4 Sims. The good thing is the new infant update, as well as the expansion pack, will both allow you to make infants in CAS. So you can start out with the new infants and older right from CAS, and it will give you that 4-person budget to buy the house with. It is a 3-bedroom house, so it's a good sized house even once I shrink all the rooms down, and it's got a separate dining room. It's not an open floor plan house. I don't know, do I build a lot? I feel like I build mostly open floor plan houses, but this one is not. The living room, dining room, and kitchen are all their own closed off separate rooms in this one, so it is a little bit more of a traditional house. It does take that sort of, would you call it mid-century? I don't know. I guess I'd call it sort of mid-century, that 50s, 60s, box ranch style single story house, like kind of renovated, if you will, to be slightly more modern. So that is my thing. If you're not into that kind of house, you're at the wrong channel because that's basically what I build is little one-story houses like this. Some of it is that I have a disability and I am drawn to these kind of houses because these are the kind of houses that I like to live in real life because they're easier for me with my physical disability. Some of it is that I just think it's more interesting to take something that's so restrictive, a little box house, and see how you can, I guess, renovate it and add to it and make it look more, I don't know, appealing, more aesthetic, whatever you want to call it. It's like a challenge for me. Can I turn this little box into something that looks really, really nice and like a real life house? So I guess it's like a twofold thing. Again, these rooms are massive. For a starter house, these rooms are absolutely massive. You can't tell right now because there's no furniture in them, but once I start placing the furniture, you can see that these rooms are actually massive, which is, it's a good thing I reduced them in size later on because your Sims, when they're first starting out, do not need that much room. They don't have enough furniture to fill it up. I changed the decorating of this room several times. This is the infant room. It's supposed to be like the baby's room, the youngest child's room. I don't obviously have access to the cribs yet for the new infants, so I used other things in place of the crib. In this case, a toddler bed. You can download this right now and use it for toddlers or newborns because in the end it ends up with a bassinet, not the toddler bed. But you can download and use it right now because there's no crib, obviously. I guess it wouldn't really matter if there was a crib because you could just delete it and replace it with a toddler bed super easily. Point is, in my mind, I am decorating this for an infant, not a toddler, not a newborn, an infant. The beds that I use are just placeholders for the cribs for the infants. Does that make sense? Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Um, the way it's decorated now, don't freak out. The way it's decorated right now is not at all how it stays. It completely changes here in a minute because I did not like this. The idea that I had in my mind and the way that it started out was really good, but in the end, the execution and the finished look was absolutely awful. I hated it, so I ended up dramatically changing it. You'll see, I keep going back to this room over and over. I kind of do that with the bedrooms throughout the whole build, going back and changing things, changing the color of things, changing the placement of things, whatever. I did end up having to get rid of a lot of the little decor stuff in this room just because we ran out of money. It is supposed to be, again, a starter home, and so your Sims don't have a lot when they start out. The only nice thing wait, no, I think this room stays the same size. I think this might be the only room that stays exactly the same size. That's weird that that happened that way, but I think that might be how it ends up in the end. It does look a little sparse in the end, I won't lie. It does, but again, base game starter house. Don't got a lot of options there. It's not terrible, it's just not overly full of decor or furniture in the end. But yeah, I spent probably the most time on this room, I think, but that's because I was excited to have new stuff, a new type of sim to build for, a new room type to build for. And so I really wanted, I tried to decorate it as best as I could, leaving space for the new infant objects. I know we're getting little things like there's a wipe package I saw in some of the images. So, you need a place to store that. There's a changing table. The dresser could easily be traded out for the changing table. There's lots of little things there that obviously we don't have access to right now, so I had to use base game placeholders. And we don't know which ones are coming with the base game update and which ones are coming with the expansion pack. So, but yeah, this was my main focus. This room right here, the infant, toddler, newborn nursery room, because that's the one I'm most excited for right now. The rest of them were just kind of afterthoughts. The kitchen is especially terrible, but kitchens tend to be really expensive. So, we had to give a little to have the baby stuff in here. In the end, though, it works out okay, and I think, yeah, your Sims are gonna have to get a job, like both adult Sims are, if you have two adult Sims in the home, are gonna have to get a job right away and start working immediately or earning money immediately, because I really, really push this budget to its limits. But it's got space to work with. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a nice layout, so there is lots of space to work with. It just has cheap, ugly furniture in it for the most part. But yeah, this is the part where I finally start to realize, wait, I'm running out of money here or simoleons here, and I need to reduce this budget significantly. And I start going through and getting rid of some of the more expensive stuff for cheaper stuff, like the front and back door you saw there. I got rid of the more expensive ones. Yeah, I did struggle quite a bit with this build and trying to just figure everything out because, again, didn't care about anything other than the nursery. I might just design a bunch of nursery rooms to put on the gallery as shorts or whatever. Here's where you can see that I was really trying to go for the dark and moody aesthetic again. I am not good at dark and moody. I'm not good at fancy or sophisticated. I am good at casual, maybe a little boho, very light, very colorful, very airy, pastels and light woods and whites everywhere. I am not good at the dark and moody and sophisticated and fancy like at all. Not even a little bit. I don't know why I keep trying, but I keep trying. Maybe I'll get good at it someday. Yeah. Again, everything gets reduced in the end, and there's not much more to say about the build itself. Here's where I start reducing the size of rooms and stuff to get a better handle on the budget and whatnot. I do like it in the end. I think it was another one of those things, trust the process, it gets there in the end. I keep looking back at the old webcam instead of the new one, sorry. But yeah, it was one of those things that I had to trust the process. You cannot believe how much of this video I had to cut out because I would just sit there staring at the screen going, okay, what do I do now? Do I go back and keep working on the nursery? Because that's really what this build was for, the nursery. I don't care about the rest of it. That's terrible, I know. But yeah, I end up liking it in the end. I did use one tree or two trees from Debug. I was gonna do a bunch of landscaping with Debug, but I didn't like the Debug landscaping. It's a lot lighter, a lot brighter, and just didn't seem to go well with the house, so I ended up spending a little bit of money simoleons and just putting the regular, you'll see in the end, towards the end of the video, I put in the debug landscaping and then switch it out for landscaping that actually costed simoleons. Yeah, I think these rooms get reduced even more than this. But yeah, that's really, I think I've said all I can say about this build and then some. I'm really excited for the new expansion pack. Right now my favorites are pets and seasons probably. And so I think, well, maybe parenthood. Parenthood might be one that I like a lot too. The only thing about parenthood that really annoys me is that the kids, um, is it the toddlers? No, I think it's just the kids. The kids are constantly, at least in my game, making messes on the floor, like those paint messes where they're dumping paint and stuff on the floor all the time. All the time. It never ends. It's like every single sim day, multiple times a day, the kids are dumping that paint stuff all over the place. My game is always filled with it everywhere. I think that would be the only annoying thing. That came with Parenthood, right? That's not something that's in base game, is it? That might be base game now that I'm thinking about it. I don't remember. But either way, that's the only thing I find annoying about the kids and the toddlers and stuff is that whole dumping paint on the floor, making a mess thing. So, yeah, I guess right now I would also say that Parenthood, along with Seasons and Pets, I just think Seasons and Pets should be part of the base game. Like, they're basic. I guess you could say that for a lot of things, though. A lot of things should just really be part of the base game because they're just basic parts of life. But if you do that, then you have no expansion packs to sell, right? uh, but yeah, I'm excited either way to get a new life stage. Personally, I think I would have preferred like a preteen, middle school age rather than an infant's age, but that's my personal preference. I think it would have made more sense, at least the way I play, it would have made more sense. Other than that, I thought all the life stages and ages were okay the way they were. I don't foresee us getting a preteen life stage now just because this new expansion pack very heavily already focuses on kids and family life and everything, and I can't foresee anything else that they could add that would be focused on the preteen age group at this point, unless they added school for children and like elementary and middle school for children and preteens and did like a high school pack but for younger kids. But the high school pack was poorly received and it had a lot of issues and it's not super there's not a lot of cross compatibility with other packs, and so it's not a super popular pack, so I don't see them doing that ever. But yeah, I guess you never know. I would have never guessed they would have added infants either. This is the part where I'm like, oh, that's too bright. It's just too lime green. I need something darker there that will look better. So I spent the simoleons and got the ones that cost money. Simoleons, sorry, and it did the darker ones there. But yeah, I think we're pretty much done. So enjoy these screenshots, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.